It really amazes me how anytime we have a controversial roughing the passer call or unnecessary roughness penalty, how people are so quick to flop to social media and say, oh, football has become so soft now, you can't even hit anybody no more. Football is one step away from becoming flag football. But yet when JuJu Smith-Schuster wants to go on Twitter and poke his chest out, talk a little bit of smack and troll, oh, he needs to keep it classy, he's stepping out of bounds, JuJu tripping. So JuJu Smith-Schuster went on Twitter and he posted a Valentine's card meme with James Bradberry on it with the message saying, I'll hold you when it matters most, referring to James Bradberry's holding call late in the fourth quarter in the Super Bowl. I don't see nothing wrong with what JuJu Smith-Schuster posted, but all of a sudden, JuJu Smith-Schuster is out of line, he's tripping, he never should have posted this. But yet there are countless other players who talk plenty of trash on the same platform, but nobody has a problem with it. But you guys have a problem with it because of the messenger. So JuJu Smith-Schuster doesn't have a right to talk smack? So he didn't do anything at all? So he didn't have a couple of key fourth quarter catches in the Super Bowl? So he didn't do anything that forced James Bradberry to hold him? Not once, but twice? JuJu Smith-Schuster did something right if James Bradberry, an all-pro cornerback, had to hold him. But yet JuJu Smith-Schuster has to keep it classy though. But if it was Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes, you wouldn't have a problem with it. A.J. Brown, teammate of James Bradberry, responded saying, first of all, congratulations. Y'all deserve it. This is lame. You was on the way out of the league before Mahomes resurrected your career on a one-year deal, TikTok boy. He admitted that he grabbed you, but don't act like you like that or ever was, but congratulations again. Yeah, A.J. Brown, JuJu Smith-Schuster wasn't like that. But he was good enough that James Bradberry had to hold him for the most important penalty of the game. Darius Slay responds, come on now, bruh. Doing too much. Michael Parsons, damn, social media has allowed players' social media skills be better than their football skills. Hashtag sad. But when Deebo Samuel came out and called James Bradberry trash, I ain't really see nobody clapping back to that though. But it's the messenger that counts though, because it's JuJu Smith-Schuster, everybody has a problem with it. You see the problem? You see the hypocrisy? If this was any other player, and I literally seen people in the comment section putting this, if this was Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes, understandable, but coming from you, no. JuJu Smith-Schuster, just like any other Kansas City Chiefs player on that roster who contributed to that Super Bowl win, has every right to go on Twitter and troll. This is part of sports. Are you guys forgetting this? That trash talking is what makes sports sports? You can trash talk whether it be on the field or off the field. But since it's JuJu Smith-Schuster, he has to keep it classy. Because you don't like JuJu Smith-Schuster, you got a problem with it. You don't got a problem with the message. You got a problem with the messenger. And you see, you're being biased. And that's why I get hella frustrated. That's why I don't get on social media, because it's a lot of bias. It's a lot of hypocrisy. Oh, any other player can go on Twitter and talk smack. Deebo Samuel don't talk more shit on Twitter than anybody the whole entire year. But because it's Deebo Samuel, nobody calls him out on it. But since it's JuJu Smith-Schuster, TikTok boy, wearing skirts to the Super Bowl, y'all got a problem with it. Keep that same energy for any other player. I didn't know that there were guidelines to what players could and could not talk smack. I thought that anybody could talk smack. It's fair game. That's why you have the ability to respond. Freedom of speech, right? Freedom of speech. JuJu Smith-Schuster is just executing his guaranteed rights of freedom of speech. And all of a sudden, he's getting crucified for it. He's wrong for it. He has to keep it classy. But if it was Mahomes or Travis Kelce, though, y'all all would be laughing. But nobody's laughing because of who's the person giving out the joke. Oh, the person who's giving out the joke you don't like. So you got a problem with it. Hold that same energy that you have with JuJu Smith-Schuster, with Deebo Samuel. JuJu Smith-Schuster isn't no scrub. JuJu Smith-Schuster, he contributed to the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl win. And he made some plays for Pittsburgh. He wasn't bad for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He just wasn't as good as a A.J. Brown or some of the top receivers in the league. But JuJu Smith-Schuster most definitely is one of the top 5 or one of the best slot receivers in the game. And he actually had a pretty good season for Kansas City this year. But you don't want to give JuJu Smith-Schuster credit because you don't like him. So you got to undermine him. You got to talk down on JuJu Smith-Schuster. You got to tell him, shut up, boy. You didn't do nothing. You didn't do smack. Hell, he did enough to draw the holding penalty from an All-Pro, though. I'm not a Kansas City Chiefs fan or Eagles fan or a JuJu Smith-Schuster fan. I'm a fan of the sport. And the reason why I love football is because of the trash talking, because of the competition. This is what makes sports sports. Anybody has the right to talk trash. We putting guidelines on who can and can't talk smack? That makes no sense. JuJu Smith-Schuster, you telling me he had 0 catches for 0 yards in the Super Bowl? Let me go check these stats out right now. Since JuJu Smith-Schuster does have a right to talk because he ain't do nothing. He ain't do nothing. JuJu Smith-Schuster, what did he do in the Super Bowl? Let's see what JuJu Smith-Schuster did in the Super Bowl. He had 7 receptions for 53 receiving yards. I think JuJu Smith-Schuster contributed to the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl win. Did he or did he not? Did James Bradberry have to hold JuJu Smith-Schuster? Did JuJu Smith-Schuster do something that made James Bradberry hold him? Yes or no? JuJu Smith-Schuster has every right to talk smack, just like any other Kansas City Chiefs player on that roster who contributed to this team winning the Super Bowl. You're just mad because of the messenger. If you don't like trash talking, guess what? Don't play sports. Don't go on social media. To say JuJu Smith-Schuster is wrong for what he tweeted, it's absolutely absurd. When did we become so thin-skinned? So all of a sudden, we got a problem with players talking smack. JuJu Smith-Schuster is the first player to talk smack, the first average to above average player to talk smack. If James Bradberry was so good, why did he have to hold him? Yeah, he admitted after the game that he held him. Cool. Okay, he owned up to his mistake. But that doesn't excuse JuJu Smith-Schuster for not being able to make a joke about it. But if it was Mahomes or Travis Kelce, you wouldn't have a problem with it, though. But those guys contributed to the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl just like JuJu Smith-Schuster did. And don't try to say, well, those guys contributed. No. One team, one goal. Everybody on that Chiefs roster is getting a Super Bowl ring. So therefore, everybody played the part. Don't nitpick who can and who can't talk smack. Because anybody can talk smack. And if you don't like it, guess what? You have the right to respond. Or just ignore it. Why are people so butthurt over JuJu Smith-Schuster and what he tweeted out? Trolling. There's been plenty of other players who have trolled, but you only have a problem with it because of TikTok boy posting it. Because of the same dude who wore a skirt to the game is the one making jokes about the guy who had the biggest penalty of the game or the most impactful penalty of the game. And yet JuJu Smith-Schuster didn't do nothing to draw it. You're being biased. You're being biased. You got to stop. Y'all got to stop this, man. Y'all got to stop this. Y'all got to be fair, man. If you're going to get mad at JuJu Smith-Schuster and say he needs to keep it classy, then you need to say the same thing to Deebo Samuel or any other football player who goes on social media and talks smack. Newsflash, people, talking smack is part of the sport. One of the most iconic moments of this past decade in NFL history that none of us are going to forget is Richard Sherman's epic rant on Michael Crabtree. And I ain't see too many people talking about, oh, Richard Sherman got to keep it classy. I just saw a lot of people laughing and making jokes about it. Oh, well, JT, Richard Sherman had the right. He's an all-pro. JuJu Smith-Schuster have no right to talk about James Bradberry because he ain't do anything. He ain't good. So JuJu Smith-Schuster is a scrub? Come on, man. Come on. Let's be for real. JuJu Smith-Schuster was a couple of yards short of having a 1,000-yard season. His time in Pittsburgh, yeah, it wasn't as good as his 2018 campaign, and he probably won't have another season close to it. But to call JuJu Smith-Schuster a scrub and say that he has no right to talk trash, I just think that's not right. Anybody has the right to go on Twitter and talk smack. You can do it, so can JuJu. Why is it now we want to put guidelines on the players who can and can't talk crap? My homeboy, when we was playing high school football, right? When he was playing, he ended up getting his ankles took. A wide receiver broke his ankles, and after the game, that same wide receiver clipped it up and posted all over social media. And it went viral. It had over 2 million views, but all I saw was people laughing. I ain't see nobody saying, oh, bro, you tripping for this, man. Y'all won the game. And they blew him out, too. It's like 56-10. But I ain't see nobody saying, oh, you got to keep it classy, take it down. And my homeboy took it like a champ. You get what I'm saying? It's trash talk. This is what comes with playing sports. But y'all be the same people who get mad and want to say how football is becoming soft because of the unnecessary roughing penalties, the roughing the passer penalties. But yet when JuJu Smith-Schuster wants to go on Twitter and troll, he has to keep it classy. But yet, I literally seen people in the comment section that said, oh, if it was Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes, I could understand. But you, JuJu, you wear skirts. You make TikToks. You have no right to trash James Bradberry. You have no right to make a joke about James Bradberry. JuJu Smith-Schuster, even though you had 7 receptions for 53 receiving yards and most of your best plays came in the fourth quarter. But yeah, JuJu Smith-Schuster has no right to talk smack on the guy who held him. JuJu Smith-Schuster is so trash that an all-pro corner had to hold him twice. And before you say, JT things happen, no. Stop making excuses. James Bradberry is an all-pro corner, and JuJu is this scrub wide receiver, so therefore, James Bradberry shouldn't have to hold him. If James Bradberry is so good and JuJu Smith-Schuster is so trash, James Bradberry should have clamped him up. Am I right or am I not? JuJu Smith-Schuster is so trash, but yet James Bradberry had to hold him. Not once, but twice. JuJu Smith-Schuster doesn't have a right to brag about that, so JuJu Smith-Schuster didn't do nothing to draw that holding penalty, so he didn't do anything to cause James Bradberry to hold him? I get why Eagles players are upset. They lost the biggest game of the year. People dream the whole entire life about making it to the Super Bowl and winning it. So, of course, Eagles players, when they see this, it's going to hit them hella hard. Understandable. But for everybody else, I don't really understand the backlash. JuJu Smith-Schuster, what he tweeted was not wrong. It's a part of sports. And if you don't like it, then don't play. And if you're somebody who plans on playing football and you can't handle trash talk, then you probably shouldn't be playing. Not just football, but any sport. Sports are about mental toughness. Being able to handle a little bit of trash talk comes along with it. Don't be trying to put guidelines on the players who can talk smack and can't talk smack. That's probably some of the dumbest shit I've heard. JuJu Smith-Schuster contributed to the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. He drew the holding penalty on James Bradberry, so therefore he has every right to talk smack. Just like any other player on Kansas City can talk smack. Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, Isaiah Pacheco. Orlando Brown, Nick Bolton. You want to know why? Because all those players played a part in helping Kansas City win the Super Bowl. People are so outraged. But yet, you want to get mad and talk about how soft football is because you can't hit anymore. So you can't talk smack anymore? Imagine if we take trash talking out of the NFL. Oh my God. You guys let me know how you guys feel about this down in the comment section down below. Make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We upload NFL and college football content daily. Make sure that you check out the JT Sports Podcast. We upload every single video that's uploaded on the channel on all podcasting platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon. So wherever you get your podcasts from, you can listen to the JT Sports Podcast. If you enjoyed this, leave us with a 5-star review. Share this with your friends, family members, and acquaintances. And I'll see you guys shortly with another video.